Long have we waited, all Genshin players, for every good stuff, everything that we've been asking for in the feedback. We've been given feedback, we've been putting our info in the survey. We are finally getting it in the upcoming version of 5.0 being Natlan. Now, if you haven't checked out some of the other optimizations on quality of life changes in the developer discussion, click the card on the top right corner right now. But otherwise, let's get straight to the changes that we just got from the live stream. So first of all, we're going to be getting 500 Primogems upon completing the Archon quest starting from the Natlan Archon quest. And according to the developers, they are specifically stating that this will be a trend to continue onwards, and I believe it is right about this section over here. So this is especially good. That means, like, rather than getting the I believe if you complete an Archon quest right now, you only get one intertwined fate. Now with the added 500 gems, I don't know if it will stack from the handbook mission. If it actually does stack, we are getting up to essentially 4 pulls upon completing every single Archon quest, and knowing how long Archon quests are, we're basically going to get 4 extra pulls every patch until the quest ends. So that is an amazing news. So another new feature for the upcoming characters, specifically what we saw in the live stream was Molani, but very likely it's going to be the same for Kinish and potentially Kachina, is we're going to be getting 3 Ascension materials upon completing the character's tribal quest or their story quest starting from Natlan onwards. As you can see here in the footage, upon completing the quest, you'll be getting a few Primogems and all the materials necessary to bring them to Ascension Tree. For the uninformed, Ascension Tree is essentially all the way to level 50 unascended. So that is particularly good for anyone who wants to build their characters but do not have the materials and resin to bring them all the way up. So there are also some new changes for the Stellar Reunion event for any returning players. Essentially, as you can see in the footage right now, they're going to be adding up to 10 free intertwined fates for any players who are interested in returning to the game. However, you can only access this event if your account hasn't been logged in for at least 2 weeks. So this is especially good for any players who haven't played the game in a while and saw this live stream, and they're especially hyped to come back to the game. There's also a few massive changes for the artifact. The first one, as you can see right now, is the artifact salvage thing. Essentially, you can exchange all your trash or useless fodder artifacts and convert them into bottles, which makes it much easier for you to store and manage your artifact inventory. Now, the best part about this is that the artifact bottles stack up based on a numerical amount, so it doesn't actually take more than a single slot in your inventory. And another new feature we're getting is the self-modeling resin from Honkai Star Rail, aka the Artifact Elixir, also known as Sanctifying Elixir in the current game. Essentially, as you can see right now, you can actually grab this Typewriter looking thing from the handbook. There are also multiple ways to do it, and essentially, as you can see in the footage right now, you can basically select whatever you want. With a single elixir, I assume you can select any main stat, any piece, any set, and you can select up to 2 specific substats, like especially in the footage you're seeing right now, it's gonna be double crit. Now, this is especially massive for anyone who's been farming artifacts for the longest time, given how much of a resin sink the artifact farming process is. And how can we obtain this, you may ask? Well, there are actually a few ways. So the footage is going to be rolling, but you can exchange upgraded artifacts. As you can see here, you can extract their materials and convert them to a single sanctifying elixir. So this means that you don't necessarily have to actually wait for the battle pass or wait for certain events to happen. There are also other ways to get it, as you can see right now, being obtaining it from the open world. I assume this is going to be exclusive to Natlan only. And the other method that you will be getting it is from the paid path of the battle pass from level 26. Upon the anniversary of Genshin approaching, we are also going to be getting 1 free elixir for everyone. So please be sure to log in when the anniversary arrives around the 20th to 21st of September so that you can grab a chance of getting an actual crack 40 CV artifact. Now, another small change for the battle pass is that you can select your battle pass rewards based on the free path and the paid path. So essentially, when the period begins, travelers will have the option between these 4 rewards that you see on your screen right now, between Mora, Adventurous EXP or Character EXP, Weapon EXP, or Artifact EXP bottles. So essentially, you can choose 3 out of these 4 so that you can basically eliminate the one you want. And for myself included, I'm going to be not selecting the Weapon EXP because I have way too much of those and way too little weapons to level up. So this is especially good for anyone who wants to have a chance to get Artifact EXP when you're more towards the endgame part of your account. So this is an overall very positive change for everyone. And also another feature is that if you were to buy the paid track for the battle pass, you can now select the bounties. You can now claim the bounties and and select which region or which specific talent book you want from any domain at any given time. For any battle pass purchasers such as myself and any low spenders out there, this is especially massive because every time you want to level up a specific character, you don't exactly have to spend more resin than needed to level up whatever characters you want to level up right now. Now, this is a minor thing. So according to the old patch, usually you're only able to increase your stamina limit from the Mon stat and the leeway statue of 7. So the new features right now, the new feature they've added is that you can increase your maximum stamina limit at any region's statue of the 7. However, keep in mind that the maximum amount is still 240, so this is especially helpful for newer players who want to gain more stamina. And also another thing, Natlan statue of 7, the Shrine of Depths, and the Fontaine of Lucine mechanic will be giving more Primogems, and according to the developers' words, it'll be giving you up to maybe 10 intertwined fates or even more. So this is especially good for anyone who's looking forward to explore Natlan with a little bit of spice on top, if you just want to simply get more gems for your pulls. Now, this is going to be a massive mechanic, so essentially there is a new feature called the Capturing Radiance with that effect that you see on the screen right now. Essentially, when you're pulling for a character and you are in your 50-50, this event can rarely happen where it will essentially be the guaranteed promotional 5-star character. Now, how does this work exactly? Think of it as just an extra level of luck. It doesn't actually affect your guaranteed. So if you were to lose your 50-50, this event will not occur if you're on your guaranteed. Otherwise, if you are on your 50-50, you do have an extra chance, an extra layer to actually get the limited 5-star character that you want. According to a video that I just watched from Jello Impact, there is a post right now that I can look for. As you can see in this one Herolab post, how does this actually work? So essentially, every time you pull and you're on your 50-50, there is a consolidated probability of that 5-star character being 55% chance that it will be a promotional character. So basically what they're saying is that instead of having to deal the 50-50, if you get a random 5-star, it's going to be a 55% chance to actually get the promotional character. As for the way they kind of phrase it, it's a little bit interesting on how they actually want to do the math, but what matters is that you have a higher chance of actually getting the limited character that you want, so that is especially good. What is interesting in this question is that it doesn't actually affect your soft PT and your hard PT guarantees, so that is overall pretty good. And as for what wishes this actually affects, this only affects the character limited weapon, so it doesn't actually count the weapon banner. Speaking of the weapon banner, they finally reduced the amount of, I believe, the encounter fate points from 2 to 1. This is massive because the weapon banner is no longer a scam. You can actually guarantee, or rather, this is essentially just a 50-50 mechanic finally implemented in the weapon banner, which means with the amount of pulls right now, you spend an average of 160 pulls in order to get a guaranteed character on the character limiter banner, and previously it was 210 on the worst case scenario for the weapon banner. Now with this new change, you can spend only up to 140 pulls, less than a single character on the limited banner to get a weapon of your choice for your mains. It is still expensive, so you do need to sink quite a bit of pulls and maybe money into it, but this is definitely much better than the previous iteration of the system. And this part is especially massive as a way to thank the players for a long time for staying for this godforsaken game. We are finally getting the 5-star character selector. This leaked image was not a lie after all. I think I've seen it a while ago. Essentially, once every year in every anniversary of Genshin Impact, you get to choose among all the 5-star units that you see right now, from the standard 5 units that we've known for and loved for the longest time, with the addition of Dea and Tinari. And the developers themselves have mentioned that they are looking into, or rather they do have plans into adding more units and more characters, maybe more weapons into the standard banner. So do look forward to that. So this new mechanic is going to be massive. So when the anniversary comes around next month in September, be sure to log back in and grab the standard 5-star character that you want before it expires. So speaking of Imaginarium Theatre being too easy and being a little bit too annoying, they finally decided to do some minor changes that may not change the core gameplay or the core requirement on its own. Essentially, they've redesigned the Wondrous boons to make it buff around certain reactions. As you can see right now, selecting this boon will actually buff your vaporized damage, and I believe there's going to be a footage where they're going to be buffing the burning reaction. So this is definitely a cool new thing that they're adding that I think everyone will welcome. Also, another thing, due to how easy the Imaginarium Theatre is for players who have a good amount of characters built, and how it's nothing more than a floor 9 on floor 10 of Spiral Abyss but just in another game mode, they finally added a new, harder, more difficult mode called the Visionary mode. For all the players who are looking for a challenge, this is going to be a new mode which will give a whole set of rewards including Primogems, but it does seem like you need up to, let's see, like that's like 22 characters this or something? Let me know what you guys are the most excited for. And as usual, if you enjoyed the video, slap that like button, subscribe for more content, leave a comment if you're super excited to see when version 4.0 is going to drop with all the good stuff. Otherwise, that is it for now. Your boy is going to be signing off. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.